When I married Claire, I thought we were building a life of trust and honesty. We had a daughter, Emily, who became the light of my world. For years, I worked hard to give my family comfort, even when times were tough. But behind my back, Claire had been cheating on me. I ignored the small signs at first, the late-night phone calls and unexplained absences. I told myself she was busy, stressed, tired. I didn't want to believe the woman I loved could betray me. The truth came out when a neighbor casually mentioned seeing her with another man at a restaurant. My heart sank, but I confronted her calmly. At first, she denied everything. Then, when I pressed harder, she admitted it, but instead of showing remorse, she looked at me with cold eyes and said I wasn't enough for her. That was the moment I knew our marriage was over. I filed for divorce, hoping we could part ways peacefully for Emily's sake. But Claire wasn't done hurting me. She wanted full custody, the house, and even demanded alimony. She tried painting me as a negligent father, a man unfit to raise his own daughter. Her lawyer was aggressive, and I felt cornered. The worst part came when Emily, my sweet little girl, took the stand. She looked at me, then down at the floor, and said things about me that weren't true, things Claire had coached her to say. Hearing my daughter claim I was never there for her and that I yelled at her often shattered me. I wanted to stand up and shout, but my lawyer squeezed my arm and whispered, "Let it play out." I stayed silent, but inside, I was burning. Claire had stooped so low that she weaponized our daughter's love against me. That day in court, I promised myself I would not only fight back but also make sure the truth came out. We gathered evidence, messages, bank records, and testimonies from neighbors who had seen Claire sneaking around. One of Emily's teachers even testified about how much I attended school events and how involved I was in her education. Slowly, Claire's lies began to unravel. My lawyer was sharp, and in cross-examination, it became clear Emily had been coached. When asked simple questions, she hesitated, looking toward her mother for reassurance. The judge wasn't blind to what was happening. By the end of the hearings, not only did I secure shared custody, but the court also awarded me a significant portion of assets Claire had tried to hide. To everyone's shock, I received a settlement that included 20 acres of land Claire inherited but had never disclosed. It was a legal blow she never expected, and it hit her harder than anything I could have planned. When the final ruling came, Claire's confident smirk was gone. She looked pale, defeated, and desperate. I walked out of that courthouse not just as a father who defended himself, but as a man who reclaimed his dignity. Emily hugged me quietly outside, tears in her eyes. She whispered, "I'm sorry, Daddy. Mommy told me to say those things." I held her close, forgiving her instantly. She was just a child caught in a war she never asked for. Over time, I started turning those 20 acres into something meaningful. I built a home surrounded by peace and nature, a place Emily could feel safe and free. I invested wisely, and the money I gained gave us stability I never imagined I'd have. For the first time in years, I felt the weight lift off my shoulders. I was no longer fighting to prove myself. I had won, not through revenge, but through patience and truth. Claire, on the other hand, spiraled. The man she cheated with eventually left her, and she lost the house she once fought so hard to keep. With mounting debts and no steady support, she came knocking at my door one evening, Emily standing awkwardly between us. She begged for help, said she had nowhere else to turn. I looked at her, the woman who had once shared my bed but also tried to destroy me. For a moment, old anger rose up. But then I remembered Emily. I couldn't let bitterness guide me anymore. I told Claire I would always support my daughter, but her choices were hers to live with. I gave her no money, no land, no second chance. She left that night with tears in her eyes. Emily chose to spend more time with me, slowly rebuilding trust. She saw the difference between my steady love and her mother's selfishness. Our bond grew stronger as we worked on the land together, planting trees, fixing fences, and laughing in the open fields. Every smile she gave me reminded me I had made the right choices in court and in life. Word spread in our community about what had happened. Some pitied Claire, but many saw her for who she really was. People who once doubted me now respected me. I didn't flaunt my victory, but I didn't hide it either. I was simply a man who stood his ground when it mattered most. As months turned into years, I realized the land wasn't just property, it was a symbol of survival. It represented every tear, every betrayal, and every lie I had endured, but also the strength to rise above it all. What was meant to destroy me had become the foundation of a new life. Now, when I walk across those 20 acres with Emily running ahead, I feel peace. Claire may regret her choices, but I no longer live with bitterness. I live with freedom, with my daughter's love, and with the knowledge that truth, no matter how delayed, always prevails. And though they may come begging, I know one thing for sure: I don't owe them anything anymore. The land, the wealth, and the life I built, it's all mine. And this time, no one can take it away.